Welcome students. In the last previous video lecture, we have completed our first chapter, second chapter as well as third chapter. Today we are going to continue the chapter 4th, that is our input and output devices. So let us continue with this chapter. First, I would say about the input device, that is a piece of a hardware that is used to provide the data to a computer used for the interaction purpose or for the controlling purpose. Means it is going to allow the input of raw data to the computer for the processing. And some of the input devices like for the computer we are using here like keyboard, mouse, scanner, trackball, digital camera, microphone, scanner, touchscreen, barcode reader, webcam, and biometric devices. So these are some of the names of the input devices. So first, one by one we will continue and discuss about the devices. First we have the input device, that is a keyboard. So keyboard, it is your input device and one of the main and primarily used for the input devices, and it is through the commands, and from the input data it is using the some of the keys, and by pressing the keys like letters, numbers and commands, and arrow keys, keypad, and some of the function keys and control keys. So it has been pressed and going to use for the typing purpose or for giving the input purpose. And keyboard, that is connected to the computer through the USB or a Bluetooth. It may be a wireless keyboard or it may be a wired, that is the USB type of a keyboard. And a laptop keyboard, that is a more compact and more than the as compared to the desktop keyboard, to make the healthy laptop smaller and lighter, and in a smartphones or a tablets. So there is a on-screen keyboard to input the messages and select the commands for the purpose. And we have the types of keyboard keys like alphanumeric keys, and next is function keys, and that is going to perform some of the functions from the F1 to F12. And like the name suggests, alphanumeric, we have the alphabets as well as the some of the numbers or special characters. And with the special function keys, it is going to perform some of the function like enter, space bar, that is performing a particular function, and like a backspace, a del key or a delete key, insert, shift, caps lock, tab, control, alt, escape, and numeric keys, and some of the cursor control keys, that is going to perform certain functions. And each function, special function keys have a different functioning of a keyboard. And next we have the mouse, that is also considered as a input device. And in a mouse, that is going to use to control the cursors or coordinates, that can be a wired or a wireless, and it is going to allow the user to some of the functioning like moving the cursor, mouse cursor, or selecting something, text or object, scrolling, or open or execute a program, drag and drop facility, and hover means we are moving a cursor from up, down, left or right position, and movement of a cursor, and performing some of the functions which is used for the additional buttons. And so in a laptop we are using the touchpad as the mouse, and in smartphones or tablets we are using the touch screen as a primary input devices. For a user's finger is used as a mouse. So it is about the mouse. So mouse is performing some of the actions like left click, double click, right click, or a drag and drop. And some of the types of the mouse like the mechanical mouse or optical mouse. So these are the some of the categories of the mouse. Next we will going to move to the trackball. So trackball, it is an input device that is mostly used in notebook or a laptop computer instead of the mouse. So this is a ball that is half or inserted or moving fingers on a ball, and a pointer can be moved, and just because the whole device that is not being used in a trackball, so it requires the less space than a mouse. And a trackball, that balls comes in the various shapes like a ball or a button or a square. So this is the kind of a trackball we have. Next input device we have is a touch screen. So it is also an input device, and it is going to allow the user to interact with the computer using the fingers, and it is mostly used or widely used in the laptop monitors or smartphones, tablets, and cash registers or information kiosks. And some of the common functioning of the touch screen is like the tap or a double tap, or touch and hold, and dragging and dropping, means only dragging, and swipe and pinch. So some of the things that is being done in a touch screen. So next we have is a scanner. Let us talk about scanner. So it is also an input device that is works more like a photocopy machine. It is used when some information is available on a paper, and it is to be transferred to the hard disk of a computer or a further manipulation. So scanner captures the images from the source which is then converted to the digital form, and that can be stored on a disk, or these images that can be edited before they have been printed. Not a scanner, it is an input device that reads an image and convert it into a digital file. And some of the scanner that is connected to a computer through the USB, and we have some of the different types of a scanner, like a flatbed scanner, sheet fed scanner, handheld scanner, and card scanner as well. And in case of a flatbed scanner, we have it is used for mostly or uses a flat surface to scan the documents. And in case of a sheet fed scanner, it is like a laser printer, visible like a laser printer, and where paper is fed into the scanner. So it is the work of the sheet fed scanner. And handheld scanner, as the name suggests, is the scanner that is dragged over the page to be scanned. And in case of a card scanner, it is used for the purpose of a scanning, like a scanning of a business cards, etc. And next we have is trunk scanner. So it is very expensive and mostly used like a photo multiplier tube, and for a scanning purpose, and it rolls some of the drums entire the document around the tube and provides us the high resolution, as well as the scanned image has to be enlarged. That is mostly used for the scanning purpose. And next we have is the barcode reader. So it is also categorized in the input devices. Barcode reader, it is a device used for the reading bar-coded data, and it just the data in the form of the light and dark lines, and barcoded data that is generally used in labeling goods and numbering the books, etc. So it may be the handheld scanner, or maybe the embedded in the stationary scanner, and it scans some of the barcodes images and convert it into alphanumeric values, and which can be fed to the computer, and that the barcode reader is connected to. And next we have is the magnetic reader. So magnetic card reader, it is also categorized in the input device, and it is a hardware device that reads the information encoded of the magnetic strips that is located into the back of the plastic badge. And these badges that can be credit or a debit or any other sort of cards, and these code embedded that can back of these cards, and the magnetic card reader basically reads the codes with the help of the magnets, and which is embedded in the hardware devices, and that is the card could be accessed. And it is a device that is only designed for to reduce the human effort for saving the time, and so it is containing and reading the some of the magnetic strips, and it is for a security purpose. It is a handy, and it just quickly do the identification of a card owner, and it's just used for the run bank, the cash points, or providing the identification quickly of the people by entering the buildings. So it is the work of the magnetic reader. Next we have is the MICR, that stands for the magnetic ink character recognition, or as well as we can also say the magnetic ink character reader. MICR, that is some of the technologies to verify the originality of a paper or document, especially for checking the special type of ink, and which is to be sensitive to the magnetic fields, and it is used to printing the certain characters on the original documents, and information that can be encoded in the magnetic characters. So basically the work is here about the magnetic character ink, and that is going to read those some of the characters, and this use of the MICR, that is going to enhance the security or minimize the losses caused by some type of the crimes and some of the forged thing. And next we have is the optical mark reader. So optical mark reader, that stands for OMR. So what is it? And it is reading the information from the form of a numbers or a letter that put it into the computers. Means it's just going to read some of the informations, that is in OCR, the optical character recognition, or a form kind of thing of a numbers or a letters that put it into the computer, and the marks that has been precisely located, just like the MCQ type of a paper. It's just reading the sense of the certain type of point of ink. So OMR, that is also called the optical mark recognition, that is totally changed in some of the last years, like OMR sheets readers machines, like the reading for a much simpler or economic, and it is the main software, that is main component of OMR sheet scanning process. And the regular flatbed scanner, means one by one sheet is going to be used on a OMR sheet scanner. So it is all about the OMR. And next we have is OCR, that is the optical character reader. So optical character reader or recognition, it is an electronic or a mechanical conversion of images typed like handwritten printed text into the machine encoded text. Means it's just the version that used for the most of the for the data entry for the printing paper, like records, data records, and whether it may be the passport documents, invoices, or a bank statement. So some of the example of the optical character recognition, where it is just the common method of digitalizing the printing text, and they can be electronically edited and searched and stored more compactly and displayed online and used in the machine process. Next topic of input device, we have the another input device, that is the microphone, and it is going to allow the users to input the audio, input only audio kind of thing, and into the computer. And some of the uses of the microphone, like the audio for the video, like computer gaming, like online chatting, or a recording or a musical instruments, and voice recorder, voice recognition. So recording voice for the dictation, singing, or a podcast, or the voice over internet protocol. So some of the usage of the microphone we have like this. And next we have is the biometric devices. So what is biometric devices? It is also categorized in the form of the an input devices, and which can be a machine that is going to read the human characteristics, like the identity of a human being through the their fingerprints, eye, iris, or voice recognition, information. So it is going to read the identity of the unique identification of a particular person. So it is basically used for the security purpose or a military area, or like for at the secure locations like airports, government buildings, and law enforcement agencies. So these are basically used for the identify the security purpose or identifications of a person. And basically it has many of the passwords, like a security system will use the biometric devices, and some of the two primary uses of the biometric devices, like it is going to first identify a person, and then next if it just identify, then it is going to verify the data from the database and going to do the second step, that is the verification. So the biometric devices is just the going to type of a biometric, like a face scanner, hand scanner, finger scanner, or a voice scanner. So next we have is the joystick. So joystick is also categorized as the input device. And so what is the work of the joystick? It is also called an input device, as well as it is also a pointing device. Means it is used to move the cursor position on a monitor screen, and it is a stick. It is looking like a stick, and it just have this spherical ball, and both the lower or upper hands and the lower spherical ball moves to the socket and just moved in a 4 directions, up, down, left and right. And the functions of the joystick is similar to that the mouse input device, and it is mainly used for the computer aided designing like CAD, and some of the for the purpose of playing the video games or playing the computer games. So this is the basically work of this input device like joystick. And next we will going to move to the gamepad. So gamepad, it is also sometimes called the joypad as well as, and refers to the input device used for the gaming purpose, and it is a video game controller that can be held with both the hands as well as the multiple buttons on it. And it is going to press by the thumbs, and gamepads were first introduced with the gaming console systems for the peripheral devices, like to connect the user with the system. And basically it is used for the purpose of the playing the video games, and it is also called the video game controller. So it is the functions of the gamepad. And next we have is the next input device, that is digitalizer. So what is a digitalizer? It is also an input device, and it is a hardware device that is going to receive the analog information such as like a sound or a light, and records it in the form of digital. And usually it's just going to store the information in a file or a computing devices, and this process is called the digitalization. The storing the information in a file or a computing the device, the process is called the digitalization. For example, I am giving you one example, is that digital camera, it is also a digitalizer. Means the light enters through your camera of a lens, and then the hardware and the software inside your camera, that is going to convert the information to the binary data and store that kind of image or a file. So the user may then transfer the file to the computer, where he or she wants to edit the image or print it out or share it online. So it is all about the digitalizer. Light pen, it is the light sensitive point input device. Means commonly that is only used for the selecting or the modifying the text or a data on a screen, and basically used with the CRT monitors, means cathode ray tube monitors. That is these some of the devices that were earlier form of the manipulating or highlighting the data on a screen. And in the picture, just suppose we have a picture, or we are going to select some of the objects or things, or our icons and another folders through that light pen, through the help of a light pen. So it is doing the kind of the work like a mouse, and just the light pen is just the pointing input device that is utilizing a light that is commonly used during the presentation, and it just focuses on the flashlight or a type of a device, or we can also say like it is a laser pointer that is only used to direct the viewer's attention to the specific area, or like a picture or a text in a presentation. So it is basically used to describe the pen like stylus used with the graphic tablets. Next input devices category we have is the digital camera. So it is an input device that is going to take the pictures digitally, and images are stored as data on memory cards, and it has an LED screen, and that can allow the users to preview and review images. And digital cameras that is only that have to become the popular over the film cameras, like we have the features like LCD screen, and it is going to allow the user to view the photos and videos immediately. And digital cameras also include the feature of the storage. It just can store the thousands or lakhs of a picture. It just depend upon the storage. And the picture development, it is also allow the users to choose and pick or picture to develop or to delete it, to remove it as well. And the size, it just take up the less space, and it can be easily carried or to be shared easily. So it is the work of the digital camera. So in case of a webcam, is just a term that is the combination of a web as well as a cam, means the video camera. And the purpose of a webcam is just to broadcast the video on the web. And webcams that is typically smaller cameras, and either just attached to the user's monitor or sit on a desk. And webcams that is going to connect the computer or your PC or your laptop via through the USB, and some of use the wire connection. And the webcams that is typically come with the software and allow the user to record the video stream on a video on the web. And if the user that is going to access the websites and supports the streaming videos, and like the others user that can watch the video stream from the web browser, so it just used for the video chat purpose as well. And instead of the broadcasting the video on a web, user just sit on the video chat session and just to communicate with the one another. So it is the use of the webcam. So camcorder, it is also called the digital video camera or a video camcorder or a digital camcorder. So it is the input device also that can record the video, like the formats like the digital 8, mini DV, DVD, or a hard drive, or in a solid state of a flash memory. And some digital camcorders that have the capacity to taking the still the images and storing the separate media. And some types used in the digital cameras, while the images qualities may be the good as standard digital cameras. And basically the digital camcorder that is going to allow the user to carry the one device to record both the video as well as the still images. And in the basically in the digital camcorder, it just we have a lens and get us some focuses or a light imagizer, and going to convert the light into the electrical signal, and going to record through the recorder and convert the electrical signal into the digital video or encodes them for the storage. So it is the functioning of a camcorder. Next we have is the output devices. Further we are going to end with the input devices and the types of input devices, and now we will going to continue the output devices in our next video lecture. So for that's all, and thank you so much. Have a great day.